Okay, this video is a video confession, but first, good day, hi, and welcome. So, what must I confess? Well, I must confess the murders of this camera, this camera, this camera, and kind of assisted how I murdered this camera. Okay, so I murdered these cameras. I didn't mean to. It just kind of sort of happened, you know, that kind of thing. Let's start. This is my third digital camera. The other two, I don't know what happened. I can't even remember what happened to them. They just died on me, but they got a lot of use. I will start with this camera, the Wedding Massacre. Dun, dun, dun. Well, it's not really a camera. It's more of a video cam. This is my V5061U HD 1080p digital camera recorder. It was my first attempt at getting a digital camera. The sound on this thing was fantastic. The picture, not bad. It did 1080. And then, of course, zoom in, zoom out. I can't remember how many times zoom. It didn't really matter. I went to a wedding, and while I was taking pictures with my venerable Nikon D100, taking the wedding, I was also filming. So I kind of like was dual wielding cameras. And this thing was just, there was muscle cars at this wedding. And of course, you know, the bride and groom were in this nice 68, 69 Ford Mustang. There was a General Lee there. There was a Roadrunner. There was just a Beaumont, you name it. This guy I know, he has like all these old cars, and he supplied them. Now, I had explained to one of my friends, you'd probably know her channel if you follow my channel. My other channel is the Amantha Molly channel. So she was one of the bridesmaids, okay? And I was telling her maybe 2, 3, 4 minutes ahead of time how my previous camera, the one just before this, had died. It just kind of fell apart in my hands, and I don't know why it died. It just died. I have a curse on me. One curse is with watches, where every watch I've ever owned, I've broken. It doesn't matter. Even one of my work partners, one of my co-workers saw me take my watch off my wrist, put it safely on a bench while I loaded a customer's compressor, and the second I went to put the watch on, the whole watch just disintegrated on my wrist in front of him and fell on the ground. He goes, "You really are cursed." And I said, I told you, I said, there's no watch in the world where I've ever haven't broken it. I don't have to do anything. It will literally just jump off my arm and die. Well, this did the same thing. It was like I was taking the video, and I was like, oh, everything's going good. And I was just telling the story about how the previous camera, which was a Canon, I can't remember, it was a PowerShot, this is the A700, I think it was, I can't remember what the A360 maybe. I can't remember what it was. This is like, we're talking 2009 here. You know, I have a hard time remembering what I did this morning. So anyway, what happened was, this camera, it was going good, and then the side door opened. Where's the little side door thing? Oh, this thing here. It just went like, it opened, puked out the battery, a bunch of metal parts, and died. And that was kind of it. And you can run two batteries. You can run a proprietary battery off of this, and you can also run, I think, double A's off of it. Whatever. So I went to put the rechargeable double A's in it. I turned it on. Everything went, because as soon as you open it, the screen comes on, or whatever, and turns on the camera, and dead. I murdered it. Dun, dun, dun. And I will put you back. So that's how that camera died. This camera, it was kind of a murder-suicide, but it was a good one. What happened to this one was there was a shindig going on. This little camera, it kind of did everything. I had so much fun with this camera. It looks like it's been through a lot, and it has. It has. Pictures, whatever. So anyway, I'm on the dance floor at one of the local shindigs, and of course there's girls shaking and doing the booby thing, whatever. You know, they weren't naked or anything, but they were just having a real good time, and they were, dancing together or whatever. So I'm getting some selfies, I'm getting all that, and all of a sudden, it just said, it pulled a Hemingway. It said, "This moment in life is the most glorious moment in life. That if I ever lose this moment in life, I don't know what I'll ever do. I die now." And down on the ground it went, and the lens went one way, and the thing went, and it died. But it died looking at booby girls. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. So anyway, that's how that one died. Okay. This one recently, I went and bought some film for it, and everything was working, and I know what's wrong with it. This one might be able to be revived. I've tried those two. Those two are lost causes, but this one, maybe it may be able to resurrect. This was my aunt's, and it's a film camera. It's a Pentax ME Supra. What happened to this one is basically, I think the trigger catch on the bottom, there's just two triggers that one goes like this, and it didn't reset properly, and now it's jammed. And you need three really tiny, yes, that's a screw there. And you need three of them. I don't have the security bits or the jeweler's kit to take them out. And it's right around here probably where I've got to reset it. That's what I think it is. Because I really was looking forward to doing some film shots with this camera. So maybe it will be revised. Or, I hope. Sometimes you can bring these things back from the dead. Other times, not so much. This one, okay. I think I blew the microphone condenser in it with my 357 Magnum or my black powder when I was shooting. Because now every time you talk, it just crackles. It didn't have the proper noise canceling. But this camera, this is the one I feel guilty about. And I don't know what I did. I think I annoyed it to death is what happened. Yeah. This was the best pocket camera Nikon ever made. And they stopped making it for that very reason. It was too good. This thing, I just love this thing. It was so good. Of course, when it died, I don't know what happened. I was out. I was filming. I was doing my video blogs with it. I was taking pictures with it. It's small. It's smaller than that fat thing over there. Definitely smaller than that. And excellent low light. I mean, 4.3, 17 millimeter, and 1.8 to 4.9. Like, it's just it was a 14 megapixel. This thing was awesome. It was so awesome. And one day, while I was blogging with it, I went to hit the playback button, and I hit the playback button just like that, and I said, "Would you play?" The lens went, and then a gray screen came up, and it said something on it. So I pulled the battery out and put it back in. I did this, I did that, and I could never get it to live again. And it died. It died right in front of me. I held it. I said, "Just hang on a little longer. I need you. I need you." And it still died on me. You will pay for your insolence. But anyway, yeah, that's how I murdered some of my cameras. So the point is you go through a lot of them. And there's two other ones. My first one was a PowerShot 300, and then I think I replaced it with the PowerShot 360, and then that was the PowerShot 700. And the PowerShot 300, I don't think it died. I think I literally wore it out, and I ended up giving it to my brother or my mom or it ended up here somewhere, and I don't know where it is. Now, I also know that somewhere in the house there was a Kodak Brownie here from years ago, and I fear it may have been thrown out, but I hope not. But I'm going to ask my dad about it to see if he can find it. But these are just some of the cameras I have, but that's how I killed some of my cameras, and why you end up with so many freaking cameras. Now, these other cameras, they're working fine and stuff like that. You're probably asking, what's with the binoculars? Because that's about as analog as you can get. Again, you just put your eyes through it, you click, you blink your eyes, clink, 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 and then you try to remember the picture, and it's right to the direct drive to the CPU, you know what I'm saying? It's about, I don't know, I just threw it in there because it looks cool. Yeah, so that's kind of how I murdered my cameras. True stories. I hope you guys can forgive me. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. So you guys have yourselves a great day, eh? And if you got really funny how your camera died stories, people would love to hear them down below. All right, take care, all.